Before the awards, the blockbuster movies, the fashion moments, and the millions of fans around the world, Zendaya was simply a young girl from Oakland, California, with a passion for performing. Her journey to becoming one of Hollywood's biggest names was not built on one lucky opportunity. It was built through patience, discipline, and a willingness to completely reinvent herself. Because Zendaya's biggest achievement is not just that she became famous. It is that she managed something much harder. She grew up in front of the entire world and successfully transformed from a child star into a respected Hollywood icon. That transition has ended the careers of many young performers. But Zendaya found a way to do what very few have done before. She didn't run away from her past. She used it as a foundation. Growing up, Zendaya was surrounded by creativity. Her mother worked as a teacher, and through her connection to education and theater, Zendaya was exposed to performance from a young age. She developed an interest in dancing, acting, and storytelling. As a child, she wasn't focused only on becoming famous. She enjoyed the process of performing. She learned how to be comfortable on stage. She learned discipline. She learned how much work was required behind every performance. Those early experiences would become incredibly important later, because Hollywood is an industry where talent alone is rarely enough. A lot of people are talented. But staying successful requires something different. Professionalism, adaptability, and the ability to keep improving. Zendaya began building experience through theater and dance before making her biggest move into entertainment. In 2010, she became one of the stars of Disney Channel's Shake It Up. For many young performers, Disney can be both an opportunity and a challenge. It can create instant recognition, millions of young fans, a strong platform. But it can also create a label that becomes difficult to escape. Many former child stars struggle because audiences continue seeing them as the person they were years earlier. They become trapped by their first major role. Zendaya understood that risk. She knew she didn't want to stay the same person forever. She wanted her career to grow as she grew. During her Disney years, she also explored music. She released songs and showed that she was interested in more than just acting. But the real challenge came when she had to prove she was not only a Disney performer. She had to show Hollywood she had range. That she could handle serious roles. That she could connect with a completely different audience. And that transformation started happening step by step. One major turning point came when Zendaya joined the Marvel Universe. In Spider-Man: Homecoming, she played MJ, a character very different from her previous work. The movie introduced her to a massive global audience. Suddenly, people who had never watched her Disney shows knew her name. She was no longer only associated with teenage television. She was part of one of the biggest movie franchises in the world. But instead of immediately chasing every possible opportunity, Zendaya stayed selective. That became one of the defining parts of her career. She understood that not every role creates a legacy. Some roles create attention. Others create respect. She wanted the second one. Then came the project that changed everything. Euphoria. When Zendaya took the role of Rue Bennett, many people saw a completely different performer. Rue was not a simple character. She was complicated, vulnerable, messy, human. The story explored addiction, trauma, relationships, and the struggles of growing up. It required emotional honesty. There was no easy way to play the character. Zendaya had to show pain without making the character feel unrealistic. She had to make audiences understand someone who was making difficult choices. The performance became one of the biggest moments of her career. People who only knew her from earlier roles suddenly saw her in a completely different light. The conversation changed. Zendaya was no longer viewed as a former child star trying to become serious. She was recognized as a serious actress. Her performance earned her an Emmy Award, making her one of the youngest winners in the acting category. But success at that level comes with pressure. Once an actor reaches a certain point, every decision becomes public. Every new project gets analyzed. Every performance gets compared to the previous one. The expectations become heavier. Many celebrities struggle with that level of attention. Zendaya responded by becoming even more focused. Instead of constantly chasing headlines, she focused on the work. She kept much of her personal life private. She allowed her projects to create the conversation. In an era where many celebrities build their careers through constant online visibility, Zendaya created a different type of fame. A quieter one. A more controlled one. Her public image became based on talent and professionalism rather than constant exposure. That approach helped her build something rare. Trust. Audiences trusted that she would make thoughtful choices. Directors trusted her ability. Brands trusted her influence. And Hollywood began seeing her as more than an actress. She became a creative force. Her success continued with films like Dune. The movie placed her alongside some of the biggest names in cinema and introduced her to another massive audience. Unlike many actors who become associated with one type of role, Zendaya continued expanding. Drama. Science fiction. Romance. Comedy. Each project added another layer to her career. But her influence goes beyond movies. One of the most fascinating parts of Zendaya's rise has been her impact on fashion. Over time, she became known as one of the most stylish celebrities in the world. Her red carpet appearances became major events. People didn't just look at what she wore. They looked at the message behind it. Her style reflected confidence, creativity, and a willingness to take risks. She worked with designers and stylists who helped create unforgettable moments. But the reason those moments connected with audiences was because they felt authentic. Fashion became another form of storytelling. Another way for her to express creativity. This ability to influence culture is what separates a famous person from an icon. Fame means people recognize you. Icon status means people are inspired by you. Zendaya's influence also comes from how she handles responsibility. She understands that having millions of people watching creates an opportunity to make an impact. Throughout her career, she has used her platform to support important conversations and encourage younger audiences. She represents a generation of celebrities who are not only performers. They are also creators, entrepreneurs, and voices. The entertainment industry has changed dramatically. Social media has changed how stars are created. Streaming has changed how audiences discover talent. But Zendaya's career shows that some things remain the same. Talent matters. Hard work matters. And authenticity matters. Of course, being one of Hollywood's biggest young stars has not always been easy. Like many public figures, Zendaya has faced criticism. People have analyzed her appearance. Her career decisions. Her relationships. Her success. Being famous means living under constant observation. But one of her strongest qualities has been her ability to stay focused despite outside opinions. Instead of reacting to every criticism, she continues building. That mindset has allowed her to avoid many of the problems that affect young celebrities. She didn't rush. She didn't try to become famous overnight. She created a long-term career. And that might be the biggest lesson from her story. Zendaya's success was not just about becoming popular. It was about becoming respected. There is a major difference. Many people can become famous for a moment. Few can build a career that continues growing. Today, Zendaya represents a new version of Hollywood success. She is not only an actress. She is a producer. A fashion influence. A creative decision-maker. A person shaping her own future instead of waiting for opportunities. The girl who started performing on small stages in California eventually became one of the most powerful young figures in entertainment. And the most impressive part is that she achieved it while constantly changing. From Disney star. To Marvel actress. To award-winning performer. To Hollywood leader. Every stage of her career added something new. She never allowed one version of herself to define her. That is why Zendaya's story stands out. Because becoming famous is one thing. But becoming unforgettable is something else. Hollywood has seen countless young stars. Some shine briefly. Some disappear. Some become trapped by the image that made them famous. Zendaya avoided that. She kept learning. Kept growing. And kept proving that the future of Hollywood belongs to those who can evolve. Her story is still being written. There will be more films. More challenges. More achievements. But one thing is already clear. Zendaya is no longer just a star who came from Disney. She is one of the defining figures of modern Hollywood. And the most exciting part? Her biggest chapter may still be ahead.